1800s, the disappearance of Benjamin Bathurst. Germany, November 25, 1809. A British diplomat stopped at an inn to change horses. He walked around his carriage to inspect the animals and was never seen again. Witnesses said he simply vanished mid-step. His coat was found weeks later, bullet holes in the fabric, but no blood, no body, no trace of a struggle. Some theories suggest he was assassinated by Napoleon's agents. He'd been gathering intelligence on French military movements. Others believe he suffered a mental breakdown and wandered into the wilderness, dying unknown. The strangest part? His wife received mysterious letters years later, claiming to be from him, begging for help from some unknown prison. Were they cruel hoaxes, or had Benjamin Bathurst somehow survived? His fate has never been solved, leaving one of the century's most baffling disappearances. Do you think he was murdered, or did something stranger happen? If you're already fascinated, subscribe now, because the 19th century holds mysteries that still haunt us today. 1810s, the Tambora eruption and the year without summer. Indonesia, April 10, 1815. Mount Tambora exploded with a roar heard 1,200 miles away. The most powerful volcanic eruption in recorded history sent so much ash into the atmosphere that it blocked the sun. The next year became known as the year without summer. Snow fell in June. Crops failed worldwide. In New England, frost killed harvests in July. Across Europe, people starved. The skies glowed red at twilight and temperatures plummeted. But here's the mystery. For months, no one knew why. There were no satellites, no global communication. People watched their world grow cold and dark without understanding that a mountain half a world away had changed everything. In Geneva, confined indoors by the endless gloom, Mary Shelley wrote Frankenstein. Lord Byron penned Darkness, a poem about the dying sun. The eruption didn't just alter the climate, it shaped culture, literature, and history itself. The death toll reached at least 71,000, but the global impact, famine, disease, and social upheaval killed countless more. Imagine waking up to summer snow with no explanation. How would you make sense of it? 1820s, the Kaspar Hauser Enigma. Nuremberg, Germany, May 26, 1828. A teenage boy stumbled into the town square, barely able to walk or speak. He clutched a letter addressed to a military captain and knew only one phrase: "I want to be a cavalryman like my father was." Kaspar Hauser claimed he'd spent his entire life locked in a dark cell, fed only bread and water, never seeing another human face. He couldn't tell day from night. He recoiled from sunlight. As he learned to speak, he described his captivity, but could name no captor. Rumors swirled. Was he a prince, hidden away to prevent him from claiming a throne? The House of Baden was whispered as his true lineage, an heir locked away by those who stood to lose power. 5 years later, someone stabbed him in a park. He died 3 days later, whispering that his attacker had promised to reveal his identity. With Kaspar's death, the truth died too. Was he royalty stolen from a cradle? A victim of unimaginable cruelty, or an elaborate hoax? We may never know. If you discovered you'd been hidden from the world your entire life, would you want to know why? 1830s, the spring-heeled Jack Terror. London, England, 1837 to 1838. A figure leaped from the shadows, impossibly tall, with eyes like balls of fire and claws that tore at clothing. Victims described a creature that could jump over buildings, breathe blue flames, and vanish into the night. Spring-heeled Jack terrorized London's streets for months. He attacked young women, slashed at them with metallic claws, then bounded away with superhuman leaps. Some witnesses claimed he wore a helmet and a tight-fitting costume. Others swore he was demonic. The attacks were real. Police investigated, newspapers reported, and citizens formed watch groups. But who or what was Jack? Was he an aristocrat with a twisted sense of humor, using springs hidden in his boots? A mass delusion born from Gothic literature and gaslight shadows? Or something genuinely unexplained? Sightings continued sporadically for decades. spreading beyond London. The last reported encounter was in 1904. Spring-heeled Jack became legend, inspiring everything from penny dreadfuls to modern comics. If you encountered something that defied explanation in the dark, would you trust what you saw? 1840s, the Lost Franklin Expedition. Canadian Arctic, May 1845. 2 ships, 129 men, the best-equipped polar expedition Britain had ever sent. They sailed into the ice with 3 years of provisions, libraries of books, and even a hand organ for entertainment. Then they vanished. For years, search parties found nothing. Then the clues emerged: abandoned ships locked in ice, graves on a desolate island, and finally, the horror: bodies showing cuts on bones. Inuit witnesses spoke of men stumbling through the snow, eyes wild, some dragging sledges loaded with silverware and tea sets instead of food. Lead poisoning from canned goods likely drove them mad. Scurvy weakened their bodies, and when supplies ran out, the unthinkable happened. Evidence suggests they resorted to cannibalism in their final, desperate days. The HMS Erebus and HMS Terror weren't discovered until 2014 and 2016, resting on the Arctic seabed. But the full story of those final months? That died with them in the ice. Would you risk everything for glory and discovery, knowing you might never return? 1850s, the Carrington Event. Worldwide, September 1st to 2nd, 1859. On the morning of September 1st, 1859, British astronomer Richard Carrington was sketching sunspots through his telescope when he witnessed something never before recorded: a brilliant white light flare erupting from the sun's surface. Wikipedia. He had no idea he'd just witnessed the trigger for the most powerful geomagnetic storm in recorded history. Within just 17.6 hours, extraordinarily fast for such an event, the resulting coronal mass ejection slammed into Earth's magnetosphere. Wikipedia. What followed was chaos wrapped in beauty. Auroras blazed across the sky as far south as Cuba and Honolulu, while the southern lights were visible as far north as Santiago, Chile. Wikipedia. The displays were so bright that gold miners in the Rocky Mountains woke up thinking it was morning and began preparing breakfast. People in the northeastern United States read newspapers by the glow of the aurora, but the storm's impact went beyond spectacle. Telegraph systems across Europe and North America failed catastrophically. Operators received electric shocks, telegraph pylons threw sparks, and some recording papers burst into flames. Wikipedia. Yet bizarrely, some operators discovered they could continue sending messages even after disconnecting their power supplies. The auroral current itself was powering the lines. Ice core analysis has revealed that the Carrington event was twice as powerful as any other solar storm in the last 500 years. Wikipedia. In our modern world, dependent on satellites, power grids, and GPS, a similar event today could cause trillions of dollars in damage and potentially years-long blackouts. The mystery? Scientists estimate Carrington-level storms occur roughly once every 500 years, yet we have no way to predict when the next one will strike. In 2012, a solar storm of equal magnitude narrowly missed Earth by just 9 days. If the sky suddenly lit up brighter than daylight at midnight, would you know what you were witnessing? 1860s, the Great Eastern's mysterious knocking. Atlantic Ocean, 1860s. The Great Eastern was the largest ship ever built, a floating city of iron. But from the moment it launched, crew members reported hearing something, an incessant knocking from within the double hull. Tap, tap, tap. It drove sailors mad. Engineers searched, but found nothing. The knocking continued for years, always there, always unexplained. Some said it was a trapped worker, sealed inside during construction. Others claimed it was the ship itself, protesting its cursed existence. The Great Eastern suffered tragedy after tragedy: explosions, financial ruin, deaths during construction. When it was finally broken up for scrap in 1889, workers discovered something inside the hull. A skeleton, along with the rusted tools of a riveter. Had someone been entombed alive during construction, knocking desperately for help for years? Or was the skeleton unrelated, and the knocking something else entirely? Would you work aboard a ship that seemed to be haunted from within? 1870s, the Kentucky meat shower. Bath County, Kentucky, March 3, 1876. A woman named Mrs. Crouch was making soap in her yard on a clear, cloudless day when her grandson suddenly exclaimed, "Why, Grandma, it's snowing!" But it wasn't snow falling from the sky. It was meat. For several minutes, chunks of red flesh rained down across a 100 by 50 yard area. Most pieces were approximately 2 by 2 inches, though at least one measured 4 by 4 inches. The meat appeared fresh, sticking to fences and scattered across the ground like some grotesque snowfall. 2 brave locals actually tasted the mystery meat, declaring it might be mutton or venison. Scientists, who later examined preserved samples, identified the tissue as lung, muscle, and cartilage from some type of animal, possibly horse, human infant, deer, or bear. But how did meat rain from a clear sky? The most accepted theory came from Dr. L.D. Kastenbein, who suggested it was projectile vomit from vultures flying overhead. Vultures regurgitate to lighten their load when taking flight or to ward off predators. Others proposed it was nostoc, gelatinous bacteria, frog spawn carried by wind, or even a sign from God. In 2024, the Bath County History Museum opened an exhibit for the Kentucky meat shower, showcasing a preserved piece from the event. DNA testing has proven inconclusive due to decades of preservation in various chemicals. The Great Kentucky Meat Shower remains unexplained. If meat started falling from the sky above you, would you run or grab a sample? Are you loving these mysteries as much as I loved researching them? Do us a favor and smash that like button and drop a comment telling us which decade has the creepiest mystery so far. 1880s, the severed feet of the Thames. London, England, 1887 to 1889. During construction of the Thames embankment, workers discovered human remains buried in the riverbank, but not complete bodies, only feet, dozens of them, all severed at the ankle. Some wore shoes, some were bare. All showed signs of deliberate dismemberment. Were they victims of Jack the Ripper, whose murders terrorized London during the same period? Casualties of body snatchers who sold corpses to medical schools? Or evidence of some unknown serial killer whose other crimes went unrecorded? The remains were never identified. No pattern emerged. The discoveries eventually stopped, leaving behind only questions and a macabre reminder that Victorian London held darker secrets than its fog-shrouded streets revealed. What do you think is more frightening, a mystery solved or one that remains forever unknown? 1890s, the airship mystery wave. United States, 1896 to 1897. Across America, thousands reported seeing mysterious airships in the night sky, cigar-shaped crafts with brilliant lights moving against the wind. This was years before the Wright brothers' first flight. Newspapers exploded with accounts. Farmers described crafts landing in their fields. Some claimed to meet the pilots. Inventors who said they'd perfected flight but wanted to keep it secret until patents were secured. But no patents ever came. No inventors stepped forward. No wreckage was ever found. Were they experimental dirigibles built by unknown engineers? Mass delusion spread by sensational journalism? Or perhaps something that predated our understanding of aviation? The sightings stopped as suddenly as they began, leaving behind only clippings in old newspapers, and speculation that perhaps someone, or something, was testing the skies before humanity officially took flight. If you'd seen those lights in 1897, would you have believed your eyes? From ships without crews to skies filled with impossible machines, the 19th century proved that mystery doesn't need modern technology to captivate us. These stories emerged from a world of gaslight and telegraph, yet they still grip our imagination today. Perhaps what makes these mysteries so compelling is that they occurred just as humanity began documenting absolutely everything. Newspapers, photographs, official records. We were finally able to preserve the questions, even if we couldn't find the answers. The 19th century reminds us that every era has its unexplained moments, its vanishings and apparitions, its events that defy understanding, and somewhere in our own time, new mysteries are being born, waiting for future generations to puzzle over. Which of these 19th century mysteries fascinates you most? Share your theories in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more journeys into history's darkest enigmas.